Hey everybody, welcome to a very special Father's Day edition of CAF's Heroes of Sport. My name is Bob Babbitt, co-founder of Challenged Athletes Foundation, and we get to meet some of the world's greatest challenged athletes on this show. This week is no different, and being Father's Day, we get Mr. Jeremy Poincenot, who is a fairly new dad to young Palmer. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm great, Bob. Thank you so much for having me.
So three-time IBGA World Blind Golf Champion, eight-time USBGA B2 National Champion. Talk a little bit about growing up. You played all sorts of sports, but golf was your primary sport, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was an athlete my whole life, loved playing all different sports. Golf was what I was most obsessed with. Played 3 years varsity at San Diego Academy here in San Diego in North County. And then went off to San Diego State, where I went to a D1 school. Wasn't good enough to play college golf unless I wanted to do D2 or D3, but wanted the college experience, got that at San Diego State. And lost my sight while I was a sophomore there and thought I had to give up the game. Didn't think there was any way I'd be able to play golf ever again.
What's fascinating to me is you had perfect 20/20 vision and you're 19 years old. And then really it was only over what, 2 or 3 months where first your one eye, your right eye, then the left eye, basically it got to the point where it's like a donut, correct? Where you don't see the center of the donut, but you see around. Is that how you define it?
You couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, it started in the right eye. Things were getting blurry, and I thought I just needed glasses. But like you said, 2 to 3 months later, my left eye lost its central vision as well. So it was a rapid onset of blindness in a matter of months. And yeah, my vision's similar to a donut, right? I've got the donut part, like you said, the top, the sides, the bottom. I have complete peripheral vision. I'm missing everything in the middle. So if people at home want to see what I see, put your hands directly in front of your face like that and look around the room you're in for a little bit. That's what my sight's like all the time, to somewhat be able to see things. I got to look above, but your periphery is if you put a newspaper really close to your face, you can maybe read the headline, and that's about it.
So you had a standing tea time with your dad. What, every Sunday you guys played from the ages of you were 12 till you were 17. So golf was a bonding part with you and your dad Lionel.
Big time.
When this happened, did you think that golf was gone?
100%. Yeah, I didn't think there was a chance I was going to play again. Golf is a visual sport. You look at where the pin's located, and then you think about the trajectory of the shot you want to hit. It's there's some artistry involved to it, and it's very visual. So yeah, when I lost my sight, there was no way I thought I was ever going to play golf again.
And your dad, unbeknownst to you, for Christmas had bought you a new set of golf clubs that he presented to you after you lost your sight. And what were your thoughts when dad's giving you golf clubs? You're probably like, this is sort of a waste.
100%. Dad worked at Callaway at the time, so he had gotten me a new set of irons before I'd lost my sight. And then when I lost my sight, he's like, well, I've got this new set of irons for him. Do I not give them to him for Christmas like I was planning to, or do I? And he did it. He gave them to me, and I was not in a good headspace at that time. And so I thought it was a sick joke. I thought it was dangling a carrot in front of a blind guy who couldn't see the carrot. I was definitely not too pleased to get them. I thought it was something that I didn't enjoy getting at the time, but I'm thankful that he did it in hindsight.
So when you went out to the range and hit some balls, how long was it before you felt like, okay, maybe I can still do this?
Yeah, so it was a number of months where I didn't even want to go to the range or golf at all, because I had an expectation level of how I could play when I could see,
Yeah.
and the beauty of seeing your ball take off and watching the ball flight. And I knew I wouldn't be able to enjoy that. So I was very at arm's length with it. I just didn't want to do it. I thought I was going to give up the game. I had a brand new set of irons, but I just didn't think I was going to ever play with them. But one day I just kind of had this mindset shift and just said, you know what, I'll go to the range. I think my dad proposed it multiple times and I kept saying no. And I said, okay, you know what, let's do it. And I said, if I miss a shot, if I swing and just completely whiff it, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this again. And I didn't. I hit every shot, but even without being able to see the ball flight, I could feel it. And golfers know they can feel when they hit a good shot. You don't need
Yep.
to see the ball flight. And so to have that feeling again of, whoa, that felt like it used to when I could see, that was a really good feeling, and something that as a golfer you're addicted to and you want to feel over and over again.
The first round you played with your dad, how did you shoot?
I think I chipped in on the last hole miraculously for a 99, and it was like, it was bittersweet. It was like, wow, I broke 100, which I didn't know if I could do or not without my sight. But then it was like, I just shot a 99. When I was sighted, I was shooting in the 70s rather easily. So a 99 is like, oh my gosh, don't tell anybody I shot that. Don't let them know. It's just, it was a bittersweet feeling for sure. But yeah, it was hard with the expectation level I had, but it was nice to be out there again for sure.
What's fascinating to me is you lose your vision in 2009 and you become the world blind golf champion in 2010. Was it mom who found out about World Blind Golf?
You got it. Mom's amazing. Mom is the type of mom that when I started losing my sight, she rolled up her sleeves, did research, tried to find out what was going on, and just got into it. And she was basically the person who diagnosed me. When doctors and specialists were saying they thought it was one thing, she found LHON and told and brought it to their attention. They said, no, no, it's too rare. And she ended up being right. So after she was right with that, and then we moved on to other things, she's like, okay, what can I do to help my son kind of live his life again and find some joy in his life? She found the IBGA, International Blind Golf Association, and the USBGA, United States Blind Golf Association, and told me there were tournaments all over the world. I thought she was joking. That was early on when I lost my sight. I didn't think there was such a thing, and there is such a thing. And I've gotten to play in some pretty amazing tournaments around the world with my dad by my side.
So your relationship with your dad, it's funny because a lot of times we talk independence, you talk interdependence.
Yeah.
It's that relationship with your dad, which was great beforehand. How has that morphed through all of this, and especially 2010 when you win your first championship? How important was dad as part of that?
Dad was instrumental. I couldn't have done it without dad. Dad does all the work. I just hit the shots. Dad gets the yardages, finds out where we want to hit the shot, explains it to me, but doesn't over explain it where it kind of adds pressure to me. He walks a fine line. And then if I hit a bad shot, I say with blind golf, I've got it pretty good. If I hit a good shot, pat me on the back, it's all me. If I hit a bad shot, it's dad's fault. Dad doesn't love that. He doesn't love that, that's for sure. But I love it, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. But yeah, I think we over glorify independence in society, and I think we need to embrace interdependence. And I've got interdependence with my dad, meaning he and I can live separate lives from each other independently and be perfectly fine. But as a team on the golf course with his eyes and my golf swing, we make a formidable team. And so interdependence is being able to be independent, but also being able to rely on someone else who's independent to do more together.
So in that 2010, your first World Golf Championship, I was just watching video and extra holes, right? You go to extra holes
Yeah.
and I see your dad, talking to you, and then he sort of stands in front of you
Yeah.
for a little bit and then moves away. And then you chip in. So talk about, what did he tell you?
Well, I had been chipping it well that whole day. So we ended up in this playoff against the guy from England, and we ended up having a short chip shot. And I walked the paces or yards it is from the ball to the hole. I walked the 19 paces. I get back to my shot. And what my dad and I do differently for these pitch shots is, since I'm unable to see the flag, he stands in between me and the flag, which when I'm playing with folks around town, they're like, whoa, what's going on? Is he going to hit a trick shot over his dad's head? And no, that's how I use alignment for chip shots. And so I line up to him, I tell him he's good, he moves out of the way, and I chipped it well, and it miraculously rolled in the hole. But what did he say there? I mean, he was just explaining the shot to me and boosting my confidence. And I didn't hit a great shot before that to leave it short of the green to leave the chip shot. Thankfully, we don't see that in the clip, but it's he was boosting up my confidence and saying that we can hit a good shot here and make it work. And it's one of the coolest experiences of my entire life by far.
Hit it at my butt.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to pull the trigger. I would have been laughing too hard if you said that.
So when you find out that you have a disease that only 100 people in the US get on an annual basis, there's a lot of people would be like, oh my God, the world's against me, poor me. When did you realize that this was sort of an opportunity to reinvent yourself and create a new Jeremy Poincenot?
Yeah, I think no matter what, I think we all go through the stages of grief. Denial. I denied what had happened. It actually happened. I was in total denial of it. Then when reality sets in, you go to anger. I was mad at what had happened. Then you go to bargaining. I started to plead and say, what can I do to make things go back to normal? Whatever it is, I'll do it. Then reality sets in again. And then I was in depression. And that's very real. And I think
Yeah.
we have to go through those stages to finally reach acceptance, the fifth and final stage. But it takes years to do that. And once I was able to reach acceptance, my mindset shifted from why me, with anger behind the question, to why me with curiosity. And once I started to think why me with curiosity, and I started playing blind golf tournaments and I started doing inspirational speaking, and I realized that I could have an impact on others' lives, and my dad and I could win tournaments together as a team. I realized that there's more out there than just being sighted and independent, and that I can live a really fulfilling life and an impactful life with this hand I was dealt.
When we think of Father's Day, I mean, you were the first person to come to mind. One, because of the relationship with your dad and how important your team, you as a team, have been to be successful in golf. And now, 7 months after Palmer was born, you are now a dad yourself. How has your dad influenced you? Do you see some of yourself as the dad that Lionel was to you when you're with Palmer?
I do, and I think it's a scary thing and a good thing.
Yeah.
There's definitely times where Ellen, my wife, and I will catch each other and be like, "Man, that was definitely something my dad would do or say, or my mom, for that matter." But it's having Palmer, having a 7-month-old son now. I have a lot of respect for my dad and a lot of appreciation and gratitude for him, and just like for him to go travel around the world with me for these blind golf tournaments. He doesn't hit a golf shot, and he's a golfer. He loves to play. So for him to do that and be so selfless to help me in these tournaments and not even hit a golf shot, like that's really impressive and something I'm extremely grateful for. And I don't think I thank him enough for it, but I'm grateful for his support and his help. And then, but as I say all that, and I think about that, Palmer is only 7 months old, but I know that I will do anything and everything he ever wants and needs for him to be happy. And that's what my dad's done for me. So I know I'm extremely lucky.
I love it. Over this last number of years, as a inspirational speaker, you've also been on ABC's 2020, on CNN, on MTV, on ESPN, spoken to Wells Fargo, Aflac, Honda, Kaiser Permanente, John Hancock. When you get up in front of groups, how do you feel that your message translates to the people you're speaking
To me, it's as a challenged athlete, we can all talk about overcoming adversity, but I think we want to find messages that are different and even more relevant to our audiences. And for me, it's what we touched on earlier. It's interdependence. I don't think it's something we talk about enough in society. And like I said, I think we just are gung-ho independent. Get it done. I'm going to do it on my own. And I think that's great, but I think we need to see the beauty and the power in interdependence. And I was forced into it from losing my sight. I was independent when I was 19. I lost my sight. I became dependent. I slowly regained my independence again as a legally blind individual, and then started to see the power of interdependence and asking others for help and offering to help those around me. And that there's a lot of power behind that, and something that I think we should all be able to work on. And it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. I think it's a sign of strength.
Absolutely. Actually, I was reading that quote, asking others for help is a strength, not a weakness. And that's something that in our society we don't necessarily think about, but it is true that you're always better when you're working. And I bet that totally translates to the businesses you speak to, because a
Yeah.
lot of companies work in silos and they
Mhm.
don't communicate.
They don't communicate. They don't want to share the struggles they're going through because they don't want to let others on to, well, I'm not doing something that maybe it's not going right, so it must be me that's failing, so I don't want to tell them that I need help with something. There's a great African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And to me, that's the epitome of interdependence.
I love that. And the four P's: purpose, passion, perspective, and people. That's become a big part of your inspirational message. Did that sort of evolve over time from speaking to groups, or something, was that something right from the beginning?
No, it's something that's evolved over time. It's something that, as I look back on my sight loss and what helped me get from losing my sight to reaching acceptance and having this
Yeah.
why me with curiosity mindset, it's okay. Those are the four P's, kind of the checklist that I go through of, like, if I'm down in the dumps or I'm not feeling great, I think, well, am I doing something purposeful? Have I done something purposeful recently? Am I doing something of meaning? Am I doing something I'm passionate about? Have I golfed recently? Perspective. Am I maintaining perspective on my situation rather than woe is me and wow, this couldn't be any worse? Well, you know what? It could, and I need to remember that. And then people, most important is people. We need to surround ourselves with quality people, and that's interdependence. So that's kind of my checklist that helps me
Yeah.
uh, feel good about things in life.
How important has CAF been through this journey?
Oh my gosh, CAF probably ticks every single box of the P's. Purpose. CAF has given me purpose in being able to do the $1 Million Challenge ride in 2019, being able to do events and support different events. Passion. CAF has provided me with grants to be able to pursue my passion of blind golf. Perspective. Meeting other challenged athletes is a great way to provide perspective. And I'm so inspired by so many other challenged athletes and what they've dealt with, but how they've been able to overcome. And then people, the support you get from challenged athletes, um, fellow challenge athletes, employees, challenge athletes, foundation supporters. It's unbelievable. Doing MDC, like I said, in 2019 with one of my best friends, Mark, on a tandem. Uh, you do that ride and you kind of never want it to end because you just feel the love and the support from all of the riders and all the support team. It's just such an incredible experience. And so CAF for me checks every single one of those boxes. And I'm always rejuvenated and feel like my cup is full when I'm around folks from CAF or take part in a CAF event.
Jeremy, always such a pleasure to catch up with you. And again, I couldn't have thought of anybody better to chat with on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you and Lionel and little Palmer. Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, Bob. Always a pleasure. You rock.
Jeremy Poincenot has been our guest, everybody. Again, CEF's Heroes of Sport, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.